Special Business Enterprise, otherwise known as SBEs. They allow businesses to register with the government to receive special treatments. And I'm going to just list the ones that the government itself puts on the web. Okay. So I'm not making these up. I didn't even paraphrase these. These are literally copy and paste so you can see for yourself. All right. Here's the list of special treatments. You get government contracts. You get reduced barriers, networking opportunities, business development resources. This is one I really like. Tipping things in favor of winning those lucrative projects. I kid you not.
What?
That's how they wrote it. All right. You get help elevating your business to the next level. And last but not least, subcontracting opportunities, which works something like this. There's a giant project. It's not going to go to you. You're a small business. So it's going to go to a big business, a corporation, something like that. But those corporations, those big businesses, they have to contract a small percentage of that work out to some sort of SBE, which could be you. 15% something. It could be pretty juicy. You can get access to even big projects. It won't be the entire thing. Right? Maybe if it's $1 billion project, you're not getting the whole $1 billion. You wouldn't be able to handle that amount of work, but you could still get a really nice little chunk of it. There are several types of SBEs. I'm going to read the list of them. All right. So you have minority-owned businesses, woman-owned businesses. We've heard of those.
Sure.
Veteran-owned business.
Sure.
Disabled veteran business. It's a whole separate one. Lesbian-owned business. Gay-owned business. Bisexual-owned business. Transgender-owned business. COVID-19 vaccinated business.
Wait, what?
Yeah. That's where everybody is vaccinated with the COVID shot. Okay. And then last but not least, emerging small business.
So a new.
I don't know exactly what that means, but one would think. But you have to be careful because the government loves to throw some sort of a name on something that has nothing to do with that something.
Yeah.
I mean, well, think about this. Special business enterprise. All of the things to become a special business enterprise, none of these have anything to do with business or enterprise, and none of them really are that special. I have 3 issues with this whole setup. I guess the first one, I don't know if this is the most important one, but the first one is that anything to me to promote business or to promote small business or any business whatsoever, it should be to help improve business in general, improve industry, improve, the value or the product or the service that's being brought to clients. But in this case, just giving someone a contract because they're bisexual, because somebody let's say it's me and I'm like, hey, look, I like having sex with dudes. I like having sex with chicks. Okay. Give me a project.
Here's some money.
Yeah.
It doesn't add value.
I deserve a big contract for that. It has absolutely nothing to do with business. And so
I'm married, so I should get a better contract than you.
I, picked apples once and I'm thinking maybe I should get.
It has nothing to do with business. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, it doesn't improve business themselves. It doesn't improve the product, the service. It doesn't help clients or employees. It doesn't help your partners. There's literally nothing special about an SBE. And it has nothing to do with business or enterprise. That's my first issue. It doesn't help to promote business at all.
Businesses owned by certain people, it seems, get special treatment is what the name should be.
That is true. The entire structure is based on who owns the business.
Right.
And not even who owns the whole business. You only have to own a piece of the business to qualify. So my second issue is that, it's straight up anti-free market. This is government picking winners.
Yep.
Which is nothing new. They've been doing it for a long time. But really what it does, if you promote a business based on something that has nothing to do with value to a client, it ultimately produces weak businesses. It's one thing that they used to do this with very big companies, GM, right? Let's just keep propping up GM over and over. Let's just keep propping up these banks that keep failing. Okay, so you're propping up a few big businesses. When they start finding a way to do this with even smaller businesses, keep in mind, more than half the jobs in the U.S. are provided by small business. Small businesses have historically been the foundation of the economy in this country. They bring most of the economic strength, right? Because you have the big ones, they tend to be falling over and they have to keep getting propped up because they're really not that strong. But the small businesses, those are the strong ones. So when you find a way to even turn those into these sort of government pawns, making them weak, ultimately what this can lead to is just a very weak economy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're doing one of these SBE things, you don't have to actually prove that you know how to do the job you are applying to get with the government, right? Because I believe we actually bid on a project that required some of the SBE.
We were going to.
And we were going to. and they wanted to know we had, you know, certain percentage of minority and XYZ employees and stuff, but none of it was actually related to were we qualified to do the job, right?
That is correct. We wouldn't have had to hire ourselves any sort of internally, any special employees.
Okay.
If we
Could
would
have
have
like
had to, we would have had to
subcontracted.
contract out
Gotcha.
a percentage to a minority-owned business and then a separate amount to a woman-owned business. Right. I really do not let the client dictate how we provide our service.
Yeah.
If they want our service, we have a certain way of providing it so that they get what they paid for.
I just don't see how that adds value to the, like you said before, to the customer or to the business, or just anybody in the transaction. Because like, say I need a new roof on my house, I'm going to look for the company that has a respectable price and proof that they know how to do a great job. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, this company knows how to do a great job, but this company is run by a bisexual, so I'm going to hire that company.
The whole thing is a distraction. Yeah. And I get it because, you know, when you are starting a business, I mean, it can be really hard to turn that thing into a successful machine. There's so many pieces that have to come into place. There's a lot of mistakes that have to be made. Until you make those mistakes, man, I just know, like, especially the first few years for me, yeah, you can read the books. Yes, you can watch the YouTube videos and, you know, hear about all these other entrepreneurs and how they made things work. This whole thing can take a while. And so you see something that looks a little bit like a shortcut. I can just sign up to be a woman-owned business, and that next thing you know, I'm getting all this work. Yeah, right? I mean, yeah, it seems like a great idea. Why not? The problem is that there's so many distractions, with personal, professional, whatever. And so chasing after something that makes some money, but it doesn't really make your company stronger, can hurt a company in the long run. Yeah. Maybe even in the short run. A lot of these government programs, they can also end at any time. And
that's true. They can take it away.
If this is what you've built your business on, and you know this is what you depend on, then you're kind of screwed if anything changes.
I think you're right on that one.
If you build up a business with legitimate clientele, that doesn't just go away out of nowhere. Right. You have to mess that up on purpose. Well, that's my 2 cents. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, please like it so we know, and share it so your friends know.
Bye,
everybody. All right, let's talk some business.
Let's talk it.
I should not be staring down while saying. The government websites themselves, you know, just, we're going to start over.
Oh, cool.
Wow.